What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 73 of Knee Brace Radio. It's another edition of Let's Get Weird Wednesday. It's Wednesday, March the 3rd. As always, presented by the Wave Media Co. Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Today's been a productive day on my end. I finally printed out my W-2. I saved my child from being murdered from my wife. Not literally, but my wife needed a break, and I did my part. Got her Taco Bell so she doesn't have to cook dinner.
Not all heroes wear capes, Nick. Just
Not
remember
all,
that.
no, some of them wear a lot of Barstool merch.
So, yeah, well, somebody confronted me about that the other day. They were like, it was actually the chiropractor. She's like, do you just wear like Barstool clothes wherever you go? And I was like, well, first off, that's mostly the stuff that fits me right now because I'm in between a large and an XL, and these have been stretched out in the washer. And secondly, I support the brands I like. That's all you need to know. I didn't turn around and say, hey, you only wear Lululemon. What's going on with that? Wouldn't say
Right?
that to her.
Yeah, like,
Wouldn't be
oh,
nasty.
nice fucking scrubs.
Yeah. How much Barstool clothes do you think you own?
Too much.
It makes up the majority of your just like lounging around clothes, right?
Yeah, most of my t-shirts are Barstool t-shirts, and I get called out for it too. I
You
get,
really?
yeah. My friends will my friends around here that aren't really into Barstool that much are like,
Mhm.
I bet he's gonna wear some kind of Barstool t-shirt or something. Or
And you
like,
know what?
I have
You're
like
right.
I have a zillion beers hoodie,
Mhm.
and one of my friends said a very mean thing and said, "Hey Nick, I didn't need the hoodie to know that you picked a zillion beers. I can see it in your face."
Oh, that was mean.
Very, very mean.
You should have like went and scooped him like right under his nipple. Is he fat?
No,
Damn it, that wouldn't work.
no,
That's like the
he's
ultimate insult to your friend when they're. Did you call it a scoop or a bean dip when you were a little kid?
my my wife's family calls it a bean dip. I
It's
don't
weird.
remember what exactly I called it.
We used to do scoop, slam, dunk, alley oop if you can get all
Okay,
four.
all right, yep. Sloop,
Oh,
scoop, slam, dunk.
yep, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
scoop, then you go down, slam dunk, alley oop. And if you can get that on somebody without them being able to block it, then you're an idiot. Also, we used to do this really weird thing when we were kids. Instead of two for flinching, we used to go give me your sausage, and you would stick your chin out and they would scoop your double chin. They would just take your finger and just rub it under your double chin. And my brother always used to go, give me your sausage every time. Don't know why. Also, and whenever we saw a yellow car driving down the street, we used to go yogurt and punch somebody. Didn't have to be a punch boogie, just yellow car. You'd say yogurt and punch somebody.
we did that with PT cruisers. That was a cruiser
P-
bruiser.
Cruiser bruiser, or I was gonna say PT loser. It's kind of like six in one, half a half dozen the other. I had a
But dude, you're on a roll with these almost penis innuendos.
I don't know why
Where
we
your buddy did a practice physical exam on you,
he did
um,
not
and
strike that
then
from the record.
give me your sausage.
Give me your sausage. Just and all you do is just stick your chin up in the air slightly, and they just have somebody. They just take their index finger for the people listening. Take their index finger and just kind of scoop it under the chin. It's all you do.
But why?
I don't know. Why do you do anything as a kid? Did you ever have like a friend that would just flash you constantly?
What do you mean flash?
Like just moon you or like just take their balls out and be like, hey, did I sit in gum?
Yeah, his name's head unpaid intern Harry Ferguson.
I, I
I've
used to
seen
have,
that balls. I've seen that man's balls more than I've seen my own.
we had one of our friends in college used to always tuck his dick and balls between his legs, drop his gym shorts and go, hey, does anyone see my dick? And you just do that, which is an all-time classic move. Gets a laugh every single time. Hey,
That's it's so on the nose. Hey, has anyone seen my penis?
he would just go that or he'd go, anyone see my balls? I seem to have misplaced them. Every single time he gets a laugh, no matter what. Also had a kid that played baseball with that was unsnipped. And
Okay.
he used to take his foreskin, wrap it around his wrist, and go, hey, you see my new wristwatch? Do that. Or somehow, I don't know how he would do this one. He would pretend to be like a magician or something and like blow into his thumb, like put his thumb in his mouth and get like a like one of those, and somehow would get his foreskin to fill up there. Don't know how he did it, but he could do it.
Stop. No, thank you.
Did it all the time in the locker room. Not going to say his name, but he met us down in Miami at a bachelor party, and we were like, "Come on, let's
Do
they
the
were drunk.
magic trick.
No, yeah, that's what. Well, that's no. He would call it the balloon. So every time the wristwatch and the balloon, he was like, no, man. I was like, I'm 25. He was way older than us. He was like, I'm like 27. We were like 23. He's like, I'm not doing it. 30 seconds in negotiating. That's all it took for him to do it. Not a very hard bargainer.
He just didn't want to seem like a cheap date.
Exactly. Exactly. But he was like, I think a 6th year senior in college.
Super duper senior.
Which, I mean, he had to have been sore from like the most basic stuff. Like very basic practice he had to have been hurting from.
Yeah.
Because what age do you lose it at? Like the ability. Is it 25? Is it like once you hit 25, it's just
I think
like
it might be 25. I think 25. If you're not a professional athlete, I think it's 25.
If you're not, as they say, built different, I think 25 is like right on the nose. That's like when your hangovers start becoming 2 days. Like if you're not like, if you don't stay like in pristine shape, it just like you get a belly overnight, basically. You go out.
If you try to power lift, you just get fat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where,
you just get like
where if you used to try to power lift, you actually got big. Now you just get fat for no reason. You're
you
like,
get
I'm
like
strong as shit, but I'm so fat.
It's like the Hulk Hogan belly. It's like not the abs, but you don't get a 6-pack. You just get like a keg, and it's rock hard. You could be like, I'm drawing a blank. Who is the famous Harry Houdini? I almost said Harriet Tubman. Not nearly the same person, not even the same gender, but Harry Houdini when he would get shot by a cannonball. That's like what his abs were. Shout out Harry Tubman, did God's work, but don't know why that name was stuck in my head. I don't know why. Look, that, and I think I've said this before. Ichabod Crane and Paul Revere used to get those two confused all the time growing up.
Hey, both ride horses. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that's the only thing they have in common. But until I was like, I remember Big Cat said it on an episode of PMT one time, and I literally was like driving down the highway, hysterically crying, laughing so hard because I did the same thing. All throughout elementary school, I was like, oh, fuck. When you're writing like a paper or something, you're like, oh my God, I really hope this is the right one. Ichabod Crane trying to warn the people that the British are coming would not be a good look.
To be fair, if I was a teacher and the question was, who did a night ride to, warn colonial America that the British were coming, and the student wrote Ichabod Crane, I might have a moment where I was like, am I wrong?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a very confident answer to give. Like
kids don't just pull that name out of nowhere.
That's true.
I don't know where from the depths in my brain I pulled the Ichabod Crane as the headless horseman, but I did.
But you knew it,
right? But at put me in the spot where I'm a teacher and I'm teaching about the Midnight Rider.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to second guess myself.
Like if you were on Jeopardy and you phoned me and I gave you like the answer, like Ichabod Crane, and I said it convincingly, you'd probably be like, oh, that sounds right. Like that name resonates with me for some reason.
Crane, horse. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. Lock it in, immediately lose. I would either be the
Too much to be a millionaire, but I know what you meant.
Yeah. What did I say? Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were thinking of Buzzy.
Yeah. What can I say? If I was on a game show, I'd either be great at it or fucking awful. Also, my strategy for Jeopardy to not come in last, you just never answer a question. And you just hope that, like, usually, like, I don't know, I would say, like, what, 40% of the episode, somebody winds up in the negatives?
I mean, you have to answer a question at some point.
Well, I would just go down the sports trivia. Like, I would hope and pray.
Just cross fingers for a sports.
Yeah, that or it'd be like category. That or it'd be like geography for 100. Like, what state has the most like crocodiles per capita? It's like, well, I hope Florida. What is Florida, Alex? R.I.P. But the reason I brought up what age do you lose it at? I have volunteered to be a reserve on a softball team, Nick. Now, you played softball for your base, right?
Yes.
First practice.
Very, very mediocre.
Oh, well, my first practice did not go great, Nick.
Then again, I'm not a college baseball player.
Well, my fielding was impeccable. Like, you could tell that I was like a college baseball or college athlete with my fielding. My hitting, boy, was that bad. I just could not.
Slow pitch softball?
Oh, yeah. And I could not wait. I didn't swing and miss. Did not swing and miss. But let me tell you, that 6-hole is completely worn out. Just hitting ground balls right through there the entire time. That and the line drives right through the 6-hole, which apparently it does not work because a lot of teams will play with an extra infielder.
Yep. Or
So
I mean, I've seen some people play with 4 outfielders.
I feel like that would be more like that would be smarter. I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
but there were also a couple guys on the team that they have not played. The year off for them meant a lot last year. Like they lost their fastball, but I woke up Sunday. So Sunday was the practice. Sunday going into Monday, I woke up in the middle of the night and my shoulder was pulsating.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say how many. You said your fielding was great, but I mean, how many ground balls in were you just absolutely done?
Oh, in warm-ups, Nick. In warm-ups. It's Dietz's team. It's so we got there a little bit early and I was like, I need to stretch. I can't just like show and go. I used to show up to like travel baseball games like with scouts there, like 20 minutes before, jog out to center field, touch the center field fence, run back, do a couple arm circles, and start throwing. I spent probably 5 minutes stretching my arm. And we got to about 100 feet. And I was like, all right, I'm going to let one go here. Let it go. Shoulder and elbow popped on the same throw. And I was like, that's not good. And then the first like 45 minutes of practice was just like shagging outfield fly balls and stuff and throwing them back
Oh,
in.
your
Like,
one weakness.
oh, no. Well, yeah, I actually, I don't think I dropped any. To be fair, because like the ball, they're not hitting them like a mile in the air. Those were the balls that I would lose when they were like a mile in the air, and when they're coming down, I would lose them for like the last like 20 or 30 feet. If they never get that high in the air, I don't really lose them. But throwing the ball back in was not fun. Also, we took like legitimate infield. Like Dietz's co-manager of his shop hit us ground balls for like 25 minutes. I was gasping for air turning double plays. It was horrible, Nick. Horrible. But give me some tips for slow pitch softball.
Don't wear baseball pants.
Okay, was not going to do that. I did ask the question, and one guy was like, well, I like to get dirty, so I'm going to wear pants. And I was like,
Hardo.
well, he also, very nice guy, but was wearing basically a sweater of hair under his short sleeve shirt.
Yikes.
Like you could see where his wife or his girlfriend or whoever had shaved around his neck to give it a perfect circle for the outline of his shirt hole. But from him lifting the shirt up to wipe the sweat off his brow, stretched out the collar, and you could see just a sweater of chest hair.
That you hate to see that.
You hate to see it, but he was the guy who's like, I love to get dirty. He said, he goes, I'm not going to hit any over the fence. So when I get in the park homers, I slide into home no matter what. And I was like,
all right.
Yeah, here we go.
Don't wear a hat and Oakleys.
What if it's sunny?
You have the hat.
So just like you're just gonna run. If you drop the ball, like it's not that. If you lose the ball in the sun, it's not the end of the world.
No, don't hurt yourself. It's slow pitch.
There's like, I feel like there's a very fine line between being a hardo and being good. Is that true?
Yeah. There's some guys that are they're like, as we said, built different. And they still have it, or they're like 22, fresh out of college. They still have the skills. They just didn't go anywhere, and they're just trying to show off for slow pitch softball. Those guys, go ahead, wear baseball pants. Go ahead, play shortstop and make diving fielding plays. Me, I'm gonna play right field. I'm gonna lazily field fly balls. Hey, I might run one down.
But you're gonna catch your breath for the next 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm gonna take my time walking back out to my spot.
Yeah, you got to do the thing where you put your hand up and tell them to wait a second because you're not in position yet.
Right. Yeah.
What's the rules on having a couple beers in between innings?
That's a given.
Slow pitch softball. I mean, I just know that whenever I would do baseball camp and they would talk about the guys that would play slow pitch, they were hardos, but they would always call them what would they call them? Like inning sodas and inning ending sodas. They would refer to them as. And I was like, I don't know if it's like kosher to get like, what is it? Get a slight buzz maybe in the first game of the doubleheader, and then the second game you sober up. Is that okay?
Yeah, but so I don't know. If you strike out or if someone else strikes out, whoever strikes out has to buy the team a case of beer.
Okay, that's a rule.
Yes.
Does that count for fouling out? Is a foul out a strikeout?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, it's slow pitch. You shouldn't strike out. Don't ask me if I've struck out. Don't.
Well, I'm not going to ask you if you have, but how many times have you? So I'm not going to ask if you did once, but multiple times.
I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not
More or
going to
less than
self-incriminate. I'm not gonna self-incriminate.
Blink twice if it's more or less than 5.
I'm not.
He just
going
blinked
to
a dozen times.
self-
Okay, so good to know. Strikeout, got to get a case of beer for the team. These guys were wearing batting gloves. I felt like that was a little bit of a no-go. But I'm a sweaty guy.
I can take it or leave it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bother people about batting gloves, but I mean, I'll even let like baggy baseball plants slide sometimes.
Okay.
Like the ones that are like specifically for slow pitch softball.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
like
that's
the
fair.
guys that show up in like actual baseball pants
With high socks on and stirrups.
Sure, yeah, those guys, like, get real, dude. Like,
Yeah, you're not getting signed out of this.
there's no scouts out here, pal.
Yeah, the Yankees are not recruiting slow pitch softball in the 25 and up division.
Yeah, and I mean, but like most of all, just like if you're playing first, field the ball, catch
Just
the
catch
ball.
the ball.
Just catch. If you're gonna play first, catch the ball. That is one thing where, like I said, I'm not gonna try very hard. But one time they stuck me at third, and I made a dandy of a fielding play, which is amazing because I've never played baseball. Made a dandy of a fielding play, rifled it over to first. Motherfucker just missed it. It was right in front. Motherfucker
Just right over his shoulder.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very scared of someone, including me, throwing a ball up the line and hitting the runner in the head as they run to first base. Very scared of that.
Yeah, very. I was worried about that too. I played pitcher a few times. I will never pitch again.
Would it be a hardo move to get like a catcher's cap, like a Johnny Bench catcher's hat?
Yes.
And wear that?
Yes, that's a hard move.
Don't even worry about it. At that point, you'd almost rather get knocked out by the softball to the head.
Did I tell you when I actually did pitch?
No, what happened?
I pitched one at bat. Or no, in one game. It wasn't at one at bat. In one game, the same dude hit me with a comebacker twice.
Oh, I would have charged him at first base.
First one caught me right in the bicep.
So it was on a line then. It wasn't like a one hopper off the ground.
No, this is not a one hopper. This is just like
it was rocketed.
Look out, Brandon McCarthy.
Oh boy.
And then the next one caught me in the shin.
That one almost probably hurts worse.
Yeah.
Because you can't walk right for days.
And man, dude, I had the biggest bruise on my bike. It was gross. It got all yellow and shit. And the guy was like, "Oh man!" Like the thing is, like if he had just laughed, we might have had an altercation. But the fact that he did it and he was so apologetic both times.
Why didn't they give you a net? Apparently, in this league, you get a net.
See, we didn't get a net. It was just you, the ball, and God.
Just praying every time you let the ball go that it's not gonna get. Did you do the thing where you like shuffle backwards like you got to poop in your pants like towards second base?
Yeah, I did definitely.
And 100%. It was still hitting you.
Yeah,
that's how hard this motherfucker was hitting it back at you.
Yeah, because I mean, they were definitely guys that like they weren't hardos, but they could hit the ball, they could field the ball pretty well. They were a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
They were a team that I would have liked to play on, but they wouldn't have loved to have me.
Oh no, they would have been like, Nick, you can like coach third, or you can be the catcher.
Right. Yeah, like because I can't fucking hit.
Well, there was one of the guys that was at the practice when they were like, "What's your natural position?" And I was like, I don't know. I've never played softball. It's like I played infield in college." They're like, "Okay, go to short." And then they asked a guy, "What's your natural?" Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where I wanted to play. Like, if we're gonna be honest, like that's exactly what I was going for.
Yeah. The glory seeker in you were like, I want to play short.
Well, and there was a few plays that I made when we were taking infield where it was like I had to let him know that I still had it, like slow roller charging it, throwing it off one foot, and like making a perfect throw. I was like, baby, still got it. Like if I didn't get out of shape, I'd be playing in the minors right now. But the guy was like, natural position. He's like, I played for like 7 years, and then I took like 5 years off. But he's like, I was always the catcher. I'm like, ooh, buddy, like. It's nice to have you on the team. Like you're a good morale guy, I bet, but that's got to be embarrassing.
I mean, if the guy can catch the ball behind the plate,
And put a tag down.
Yeah, and put a tag down. Having a catcher is invaluable.
Oh, I mean, I would imagine so, but he dropped
Because there's some people that put like the people that
Helen Keller.
have never played a sport in their life.
It's like a cut forward and they throw it 90 miles an hour to the plate for the tying
dude,
run.
Whatever. If I got a slow roller and shallow like left center, and I let it fucking rip to home plate, and I beat the runner, but you just get scared of the ball and duck it, and it hits the backstop, I'm gonna flip.
You're throwing hands in the parking lot after.
First comes the ball, next comes my hands.
Just a 1-2 combo in the dugout. So poor Randy, who's 65 and didn't have his glasses on that day.
But there's been multiple times. There was one time where I was the, so to speak, warning track of the slow pitch softball field, and I let it go on a rope,
Henry Rowan Gardner style,
basically, and it bounced at the pitcher's mound, and it was one hop straight to the catcher, and motherfucker just like olayed it. Whoa. And I was like, or like
stick your nose in it.
Like when I threw it, my arm went with it.
Oh,
like
yeah.
My arm was gone. I was like, that's the last time I'm throwing the ball today. and he missed it. And I was like, I can't keep doing this.
I just quit. And at that moment,
don't
Nick
get me wrong, I would have probably missed it, but I'm not the one playing catcher.
Yeah, exactly. That's not your responsibility. Yeah. I got yelled at in college one time, and I guess now I realize why it was kind of fucked up. But because when you're playing as a kid, usually you're friends with everybody on your team. Like in high school, you've gone to school with those kids for your whole life. Travel ball, I pretty much played with the same kids growing up until I was like 16 or 17, playing on like good teams. And we had a catcher that like he was just a freshman that was overwhelmed and was just clanking fastballs. And I just kind of said a little squeeze back there, a little squeeze, and the third base coach just laid into me. And he's like, when you make an error, does he say a little squeeze at third base? And I said, no, but my name literally doesn't say catcher. Like his job title is his
to
position.
Catch the ball.
Yeah. So you're 100% right. Like, again, if you missed it, it's not called catcher in right field, is it? It's called right fielder. So,
I fielded the ball in right field.
But you talking about the guy, if he would have laughed at you, you would have got into a fight, reminded me of, I watched a documentary this weekend, Nick, which I love documentaries. It was called Class Action Park, I believe. Have you heard about this?
No.
So it was a amusement park in New Jersey, and it's unreal. They had like unreally dangerous. Like there's no way this place should have been up and running. Mm-hmm. They had a water slide that had a loop-to-loop in it. And if you didn't weigh enough, you couldn't make it to the top. And if you weighed too much, you would go too fast. And so just to give you an example of how dangerous it was, they started throwing dummies down there, and the dummies were coming down like decapitated and like missing arms and stuff. And so they were like, oh, let's just add a little bit less water pressure. And the guy who owned the park started paying lifeguards $100 a pop. This is like in the 80s, early 80s, and started sending them down. And the first few people went down and they were okay. Then all of a sudden, like a guy came down, his mouth was bloody. The next guy came down, his mouth was bloody. The next guy came down, his mouth was bloody. Then they started sending the lighter weight security, or almost said security guard, lifeguards down. And they were going through it so quickly. And they were coming out with these massive cuts on their backs and their legs and stuff. And they're like, where are the cuts coming from? So the engineers went in and there was a pad on the top of the loop-to-loop. When they opened up the pad, there were people's teeth stuck in the pad because they were busting their mouths open, getting the teeth stuck in the slide, and the jagged teeth were cutting people. That's how dangerous it was. There was other ones where they had these giant slip and slides that were going down hills. And the whole point, I don't know how this got greenlit, was to get people to go off a jump and then for them to like go like 40 to 50 feet in the air down the hill and then like touch down on the bottom, almost like the people that jump out of planes without parachutes and the squirrel suits, like those type of people. And they were like, yeah, I don't know how this one guy did it, but he like got a sprinting start when we told him not to, and he overshot the landing by like 30 feet and he had to get taken out on a stretcher. And I was hysterically laughing at this stuff, Nick. Hysterically laughing. And then I need
to watch. What is this on?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh hell yeah! This is
I'm telling you, anybody watching right now, please. And then, like, there were a bunch of people that died too. Like, I didn't laugh at those, but the people getting hurt, I
yes, you
was
did.
hysterically laughing
Yes, you
at.
did.
No, I didn't, because they had the mom on there, and that was really sad. But I was also listening to No Free Ads, but I've put this in the group text, the podcast Hey Babe. Very funny podcast. And they were talking about Christopher DiStefano. He was a comedian. He was a Division III basketball player. They were talking about he went to play a few games in Vermont when he was in college, and there was a massive snowstorm, and they were having a snowball fight with their coaches. And he said it was like a joyous moment, like everyone was having fun. And this one kid found a frozen Pepsi bottle outside and threw it as hard as he could and hit his coach in the head and knocked him out cold in a field in Vermont and was just gushing blood out of his head. And I had to pull over my car. I was laughing so hard. And am I a bad person for laughing at this stuff, or am I just fucked up?
I think you're just fucked up.
But it's funny. This shit is funny. Like, hearing these stories of people getting hurt, and like,
it's funny because these people did that without thinking, and you know that bottle left his hand, and he went fuck.
Yeah, the second he let it go, he was like, "Oh my god, what did I do?"
As soon as it left connection with his, or as soon as his arm started going forward, he was like, "This is what have I done? This is attempted murder."
And I think that's the funny, like, the part that's so funny, because Kaylee was asking, she's like, when I was watching the class action with her, she's like, "Why are you laughing?" I'm like, "Because it's so fucking stupid. Like, who would do this?" But people do. Like, and it's one of those things that, like, it would always haunt me to be like the guy that, like, broke his arm backwards when he decided to, like, jump off of a roof of a building thinking that he could do it. Like, doing stuff like that. And, like, don't get me wrong, I did shit like that as a kid. Like, did you do, like, I jumped off of the shed in my parents' backyard all the time, and we used to have to climb this fence and, like, walk horizontally across it like a balance beam. And I'll never forget, my brother fell off of it one time and landed on the garden hose on his ribs, like on, like, the sprayer, like the nozzle, and like just destroyed his ribs. And, like, I thought it was hysterical. But, like, I don't know at what point in my life did I think people getting hurt is funny, or does it ever not be funny?
I mean, it's slapstick. It's slapstick comedy. You know what I mean? I don't. I think it takes roots back in Jackass.
I think that's true, because, like, we grew up on that.
Because I mean, Steve-O getting his ass cheek bitten by a snapping turtle, gasping for air, laughing so hard.
Yeah, I mean, there was that. There, just the endless nut shots were always funny.
Oh yeah, stapling his butt cheeks shut.
The giant hand that was covered in shaving cream that was just taking people out, and we'd go, "Hey, give me a high five," and just fucking smoke a guy. Nothing funnier than that.
I mean, these they don't see it coming, and they literally they're still standing up forward as they fall. Like, they're standing straight.
They get parallel to the ground. But I just, like, as I was laughing at it, and I was like, I guess it's me just getting older. I came to the realization of, like, definitely said that word weird. Realization.
I
put an extra T in there. But I came to the realization, it's like, am I just, like, fucked up, or is this just funny stuff? And I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, I think it's both. But I mean, there's definitely an argument made. You're fucked up.
Oh yeah, I mean, but then again, who isn't fucked up?
Right.
I feel like, my mom said this to me when I was younger, and I said somebody was, like, weird, and she was like, "Everybody's weird. If you're not weird, then you are weird. Like, if you're just like
if you're not weird, then you're a fucking psychopath."
Yeah, you're just like a bland human being. I also think I'm a little bit, I think I'm a little bit crazy, because I saw a video, and it was like somebody that used the term "it is what it is" has just, like, it's just somebody you just don't want to mess with. And let me tell you, my therapist has now started saying "it is what it is." He, like, finishes my sentences.
It is what it is.
But he has started finishing my sentences with "it is what it is." And I'm like, man, I must say that a lot. And he's like, yeah, you say that more than anybody I know. And I don't know if it's just that I become apathetic to the situation, or I've just said it my whole life. I don't know. And Nick doesn't know either, as he yawns.
Sorry. All right. Sorry.
I'm just boring Nick to literal yawns here. But I I don't know. I think we're both kind of fucked up, but in a good way, right?
Yeah,
That's why this podcast works.
that's why it works. That's why if we weren't both fucked up, I mean, I would tell you things and you would be mortified and you'd say, "Can we take that out of the podcast?"
Yeah.
Um,
But
or
instead, we talk about you falling asleep with your dick in your hand as you were jerking off.
it is
What
what
it
it
is.
is.
So to spin off this a little bit, the guy in the documentary, it was just one scene where he had like a crazy beard and was wearing a top hat. And it wasn't like a crazy beard, but it was like it was AJ Soprano's beard when he could grow one, where it was like the chin strap into the goatee thing. Only weird people are rocking those still in 2021. Yeah. In 19 well or early 2000s, it wasn't a good look. Definitely not a good look 20 years later, but was wearing a top hat. If you aren't a professional athlete or like John Mayer, you can't wear like cool like douchebag hats like that, right?
Abraham Lincoln / John Mayer,
Cam Newton
maybe Cam Newton. Yeah, but
when
that's
he's
about
winning.
it.
Jason Mraz. Jason Mraz was a big fedora guy.
Oh, huge fedora guy.
He had some pretty good songs back in the day.
I mean, I still bump Jason Mraz.
Oh yeah. Also,
I went through a phase where I thought I was Jason Mraz.
Did you wear a fedora?
Fuck no.
Okay, I was gonna say there's
No,
a picture.
But I wanted to sing songs like him, and I was like,
and then you
speaking of
realized
singing songs, I did a stream of karaoke this past weekend, and you missed it.
You streamed it?
Oh yeah.
Oh well, you did not tell me. You should have let me know.
And it was bad.
I've never done karaoke.
I did it until 4 a.m, Kyle.
How drunk were you?
It was my last night drinking before March to Sobriety.
Okay.
And I got absolutely blackout.
Did you finish the Sambuca?
No, I wasn't drinking Sambuca. I actually went to the liquor store.
Okay.
What
were you drinking? Got it.
I drank a 6-pack of Guinness Blonde. I drank a bottle of sake and other stuff.
You never pour your own sake, Nick. That's one rule I learned. I'm assuming you poured your own sake.
I didn't pour it.
Just drank it right out of the bottle.
I drank it right out of the bottle.
I had my first sake bomb like a few months ago. Not bad. Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
It's weird that it comes out warm.
Yeah.
But anyway, how was the stream? So was it just you?
Yeah.
That's a morning you wake up and you're like, oh, did you have like anxiety about what you did the night before?
It was one of those moments where one of our listeners kept on like the morning after was just sending videos of his fiance laughing at me hysterically, and me wanting to crawl out of my skin from embarrassment.
Oh, that's not good at all.
Yeah, no, it took me until, so I did it on Saturday night. It took me until yesterday at work to listen back to the stream.
Was it one of those things where you would be like laying down in bed and you're like, oh, I gotta take a nap, I'm really hungover, and then you think about it and you'd be like, ugh.
A little bit, yeah. It was not my finest moment, but I mean, I've gotten good feedback about it because people like laughing at me.
Hey, I would say they're laughing with you, Nick. I don't think they were laughing at you.
That's what the listener said. We're laughing with you, and I don't believe that.
Well, I'm happy I was on there because I probably would have lasted 10 seconds in that stream and I would have had to leave. And I would have immediately texted you and been like, you have a great voice, Nick. And then just left it at that. But yeah, no. Jason Mraz, you wanted to be him. Now, I want you to go more into this. Did you like play guitar? Did you?
Oh, absolutely. I am absolutely not musically inclined.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're like me. Like you played the recorder in 5th grade and that's about what you did.
Probably not even that.
I got in trouble for not bringing my recorder so many times in a row. The teacher got fed up and made me play a recorder that was in the air, a fake recorder. I just looked like I was sucking a penis, probably.
You know, the teacher told you to do that, and then she saw you standing there like this, and she was like, "This is my finest work."
He's playing a skin flute right now. I also played the trombone in 5th grade. So, did you have like in 5th grade? That was when we were allowed to like actually learn how to play instruments. 4th grade was a recorder. 5th grade was instruments. Is that the same in your school?
No, I didn't. I didn't learn a single instrument.
Okay. Well, neither did I, so it didn't matter that we offered it. And you got to have three choices. So my number one choice wanted to play the drums because drummers got ass in elementary school. That was just obvious.
Yeah.
Number two and three were very similar. The alto saxophone and the trumpet. That was the next best thing. Went up there and the teacher looked at me, took one look at me and said, "You're going to play the trombone." And I said, "Okay," because I am a baby back bitch and I didn't I didn't like to argue. So I played.
I think I was such a liability to the band. Anytime we did like a Christmas concert or whatever.
Oh, the chorus.
Yeah, I was such a liability that they give me like the triangle. Or I think one time I got the gong.
The gong's not a bad instrument to play. Everyone knows when you're hitting it.
Yeah, but I was such a liability. They were like, give him the thing that he only needs to hit one time.
You got the tambourine, basically.
Yeah.
But I made my mom quit for me. Another thing I made my mom do. She broke up with my 5th grade girlfriend. She also broke up with the music teacher for me.
She broke up with your 5th grade trombone.
Yes, yeah. So she wrote a note, and I waited. So on my lunch, I told the lunch aide that I had to go and quit the band, and I waited for him outside of his room around the corner. Made sure he left. Ran in there, left it on his desk, and left. Turned around, ran out of the room. We never talked again after that. Entire year, we just did. We crossed paths and we'd look the other way. It was a well-known, well-documented thing. But Nick, what else do we have going on? The heart. Let's just talk about the craziest thing I saw this week. The heart doctor, or I don't know if he was a heart doctor, but he was a doctor.
No, this fucking douchebag was a plastic surgeon.
Okay, well, that makes more sense.
See, this is I have a big gripe about this fucking douchebag.
Go on. I'll let you have your time, King.
Okay, so the doctor was due to appear in traffic court. And since, we're in a pandemic, they're doing Zoom court.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know how that plays, but it does. And the doctor shows up mid-surgery. And if that's not his... So most doctors I've come across, douchebags. Just self-important douchebags.
You'd like to have them, though, by your side. It's always nice to have a doctor in your pocket, though.
I'd rather have a nurse.
Okay, fair enough.
I'd rather have a nurse because nurses aren't full of themselves.
Fair.
And a lot of times I've run into a lot of attractive nurses.
That's also very fair. Let's just be honest here. Also, the male nurses, too, are usually pretty damn good looking.
Hey, I don't discriminate.
Hey, good looking's good looking. A nice piece of ass is a nice piece of ass.
I told you about the doctor that did my physical. Very large hands.
Just made you look like a tic tac.
Very large hands. Can't have that going on.
No, absolutely not.
And if they're doing surgery on me, I want this person to have delicate hands.
I don't think I brought this up last week, but about my poppy getting a prostate exam.
I hope he didn't have giant hands.
Okay, well, God rest his soul. But he was giving me life advice probably 10 years ago or so. And he goes, you get older, you got to go to the doctor for this, that, the other thing. I'm in there, I got to get my prostate exam. And the nurse goes, all right, go ahead and drop your pants. Like, let's get the prostate exam done. He's like, whoa. What about like Dr. So-and-so? He's the one who always does it. She goes, well, I don't know if you know this, but my hands are about half the size of his. And he was like, well, if that's the case, go ahead. And I think that was the whole point of that life lesson was he basically told me, make sure your doctor has tiny hands and tiny fingers when you get a prostate exam. And I think those are words to live by.
Yeah, for your sake, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, back to this guy being an absolute doucher.
Yeah, so if this isn't a way for you to show up to court and be like, oh, I'm too important to show up for court. If I was speeding, there was obviously a reason. And and I contribute to society so much, you shouldn't find me. Now you have to pay double. Now you have to pay plus processing fees and
a
convenience fee.
The next guy's off, but you have to pay his ticket. It's like a Starbucks line or a Chick-fil-A line when you pay for the guy behind you.
And his little fucking stunt, guess what? He's under review by the medical board because, I don't know if you know this, you can't record people during surgery.
Yeah, that seems like well, first off, just seems like a bad idea. Just
it's like answering a FaceTime during a surgery.
Bad practice.
Some might say malpractice.
There you go. When you put it that way, it does sound quite a bit like that. If you were the other doctor in the room and he just whips out his phone, you have to immediately start panicking, right?
Or if you're the OR nurse and he's like, hey, nurse, nurse Janice, can you grab my phone for me real quick? I have an appointment I have to get to. Sorry, what doctor? Just hold it up face level. Right there is perfect. All right, now click the join meeting. All right. Hello, Your Honor. Yeah, as you can see, I'm very important and very busy. So you're lucky I'm even here to begin with. Like, fuck off.
I mean, you have to if you are in that surgery, I don't care if there's one stitch that is slightly off, you have to sue.
Sued, give me all your doctor money.
Yes, every last bit of it. I don't care that you went to school for 15 years and you have $7 million worth of student debt to pay back. Give me all
Give
of
me
your
your
money.
Mercedes C-Class, because we know you fucking drive one.
Well, I mean, I think that would be a little bit higher than C-Class.
I'll be honest, I don't know the Mercedes.
C-Class is like usually the base model.
Okay, what's the E-Class?
E-Class is you're getting pretty nice. Unless
Give
you're
me
driving
your
like
Mercedes E-Class.
Yeah, give me that E-Class. Give me the E-Class AMG that I know you're driving with the souped up engine.
Yeah, we know you're driving it, even though you have student loans.
Yeah, exactly. And you're 50. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I really don't think there's anything else to say. Absolute fucking douchebag. It's the exact opposite of the heartwarming Facebook stories where you see with the guys in traffic court and the old judge where he's like, yeah, I've been driving
that guy. Oh man, I love that fucking guy.
Yeah, guys like from like northern Rhode Island, just like a town of like 100 people, and he's definitely had the same guy come to court like I don't know once a month because there's one cop who just writes everybody tickets.
Yeah,
that guy's just a sweetheart. Where it's like, I've been driving my kids back and forth to school.
Where were you going?
Yeah, I lost my pinky toe in the meat processor at work, and he's like, you know what? It was a $37 fine. Bailiff make him pay 12. Have a great day. And that's like what it is. It's always odd numbers that he makes him pay if he makes him pay.
Yeah, it's more about the lesson.
Yeah, exactly. That's another grandpa just instilling life lessons on you.
Yeah, like it's like you know what you did, son. Yeah, grandpa, I do. All right, give me. It's gonna cost me $300, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, grandpa, I know. Give me $2. You know what you did.
Yeah. Did you ever go to church as a kid?
Here and there.
What were you, Baptist?
I honestly, I probably went to 6 different denominations of churches.
Okay. Did you ever go to a Catholic confession?
I never went to confession, but I did go to mass.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, when you go to a Catholic confession, you're basically just bartering your sins for prayers. Like, I don't know if you knew that, but they would, you would say
you confess your sins, and the priest.
Yes, priest.
The priest basically is like, I think that's worth 7 Hail Marys.
Exactly. Yep, that's what it is. Say the rosary twice and 6 Our Fathers, and you're good. The first time I ever went to confession, you can do it face to face or screen, and I had to go face to face when I was planning. I planned screen. I was going screen all the way.
You rolled the dice and said, come on, screen.
No. It wasn't rolling the dice. It was like, I knew. Like, you can get in the line for screen and the line for screen's at the door because no one wants to admit what they did.
No one wants to do face to face.
Well, you know what? The line was too damn long, and I had to go face to face, and I started crying face to face.
Oh,
I didn't cry, but
confrontation.
I teared up. No, it was just that I did not like admitting what I was wrong. I did not like admitting that I was wrong. Especially when they were like, I don't know why he asked this, but he was like, because I said like disrespecting your mother and father. And he's like, well, what did you say? And I was like, I called my mom stupid or like whatever. And I started doing the, like where you're not trying to cry, but your chin is just going. But I don't know why that popped into my head, but it did. Getting back to douchebags, Nike's VP's son, absolute asshole.
Yeah, cost his mom her job.
That's a
very well-paying job.
I was gonna say that's probably a better paying job than a doctor, if I had to guess.
I'm willing to wager that salary on the fact that it's more impressive than a doctor.
Yeah. Did you see the picture of how many shoes he bought and he was buying with his mom's credit card to bring it to his store to sell? Did you see how many shoes he had?
No.
It was literally an entire patio full. I'm not kidding. It may have been like 300 to 400 pairs of shoes.
That's insane.
When you're going, like, again, your mom's the VP of Nike. You are set. It doesn't matter if you're like 40 years old, you're set. It doesn't matter if you have 5 kids, you're set.
You can probably still get like advanced models of shoes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can finesse your way into getting, I don't know, 5 pairs of shoes, and you know, you could sell those.
You'll be the only store in the country with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like one of four stores in the country with them.
Just
for like 2 weeks, and you could say, man, I've got these before everyone else. You should come get them here for only a 35% markup. But no, you had to get fucking greedy.
And he just went to town, Nick. Greedy. I'm trying to think of a word that's worse than greedy, but I couldn't.
Gluttonous.
I was going to say gluttony. I was going to say it too. One of the 7 deadly sins.
This man going to hell.
Yeah, just over some Nikes. But
I mean, the name of this episode might be "Our Father Who Art in Heaven."
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just go into church talk from now on. Just going to be a church podcast. But I don't understand why you're doing this, because I'm pretty sure he's a younger guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
having your own store, being a younger guy,
easy access to fame, to girls or guys, whatever, money, you name it. And all you gotta do is just make sure your mom stays employed. That would be like my number one thing.
Every time there's a Jordan release, you're gonna have business.
Exactly. I would do the exact opposite. I would be like overprotective of my mom. I'd like call her every morning, like, hey, you on time for work today? Like, do you need me to call in? I don't want you missing that. You know,
hey, you don't have any HR complaints, do you?
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't want you coming back from lunch late. Don't worry, I'll run and get you lunch.
You better not touch that guy's shoulders.
But he had the golden ticket, Nick. He had the fucking golden ticket. And what did he do? He brought Grandpa Joe, and Grandpa Joe brought in like 70 other old people with him and fucked it up. He brought in
Grandpa Joe, and Grandpa Joe ate the blueberries.
Also, I know everyone has talked about this. That movie is just fucked up.
Yeah, it's just murdering children.
It's just murdering children. And Grandpa Joe, you lazy sack of shit. Your family's living in a house that has
this man feigned that he couldn't walk. And all of a sudden, Charlie's like, I got the golden ticket, Grandpa Joe. Do you want to come? This motherfucker dances a jig.
He was sleeping 4 people in a bed, Nick. Imagine trying to get a little sexy time in with your wife, and you got to hop over 2 pairs of legs because they're going head, toe, head, toe, head, toe.
Playing the wrong kind of footsies.
Yeah. Maybe popping, Grandma Josephine's toe in your mouth. Just trying to get, they were probably.
If you were the other grandpa, right? If you were the other grandpa, do you let him like use your feet as a springboard?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think at that point you're buddies, right? I mean, again, you're probably swingers. If you're living multiple years in the same bed with another couple,
boy, this is taking a turn.
This has gone off the rails. But I think we've just uncovered another massive plot flaw that no one has talked about. We talked about it in The Patriot, where he's just trying to fuck his dead wife's sister, and now the swingers that are in
Grandpa Joe and Grandpa to be named later swingers.
I think I want to say it was Josephine, Joe and Josephine, or something like that. I don't know what the other ones were, but that was a fucked up movie. It's weird.
There's some Charlie and the Charlie Factory. I am willing to admit gave me a nightmare.
It did. Was it the Oompa Loompas? Was it the kids dying? Was it the crazy man?
I'm not sure which one it was, but I was young and I watched it. Gave me a nightmare, and I was not one of those kids that had nightmares.
What were some weird things that gave you nightmares? Because I used to get nightmares from video games.
I used to get nightmares of skin conditions.
That's weird.
Yeah, I used to have this nightmare that my face was covered in scabs.
That's bizarre.
Don't know why.
Never.
I'm sure there's some kind of deep-rooted cause, but there's
I was gonna say, no one actually gets to the root of these causes, though. I'm trying to think. I had that, and then there was I had this Darth Vader piggy bank, and when you'd put money in it, it would go like and it would sound like a lifesaver, and like say like Luke, I'm your father, and stuff like that. Definitely was possessed. because multiple times a month it would just turn on in the middle of the night and I would sprint out of my room into my parents' room. It was just terrifying. And once that happened, I started having nightmares about Darth Vader and his egghead.
Helmet head.
Now that's a tough look. That was a tough look. But this episode has gone completely off the rails.
Absolutely. So I think now's a good time to call it.
Let's rein it in. Let's reel it in here a little bit.
Let's land this plane.
Yeah. So where can the people find you doing drunk karaoke, Nick?
Drunk karaoke, they can maybe this time will be sober karaoke. We'll see.
Okay. Well, by the way, how's the march to sobriety?
It's going good so far.
I mean, we're only a couple days in, but
hey, holding strong.
Hey, that's good. One foot in front of the other.
That'll be twitch.tv/KneeBraceRadio. You can catch me on Twitter at Fumblin' Bumblin', Instagram at If I Had One. Kyle, how about you, bud?
Kyle_Craig4 on Instagram. Kyle_Craig36 on Twitter. You can always find us at Knee Brace Radio on all social medias. So go ahead, tell your mother, tell your sister, aunt, uncle, brother, cousin, you name it. Tell them to give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, and give us a 5-star review and comment. How's that sound?
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you later. Peace.